Hey there, it's me, Lottie, and today what we're gonna do is go out here and see what's poppin'. It is November still. All the snow has melted for a moment. We know it'll be back, but today is a good day to go out, do a walk around, and see what's what. And I think it'll be a good day for gathering rose hips. The frost has come and made them sweet and good. Here's the pond looking lovely with a thin coat of ice over it. Of course, you couldn't walk out on it, but you can always admire it. Although there aren't a lot of things blooming right now, fall is a great time to see, oh, about to trip and fall. I should be seeing, right? Fall is a great time to see sort of the bones of the land. You can see where things are thick and maybe need to be trimmed. You can see where pathways could be shaped up. So it really is a good time to get out and take a look and see what's going on. So this is what we're after right here. Our rose hips. So roses are in the apple family, or apples are in the rose family. I never remember which is which. But anyway, rose hips are actually the fruit of the rose. So if you imagine how apple blossoms become apples, you can see how roses become rose hips. These are wild rose hips, so they're relatively small. On some varieties, the rose hips can be big as a blueberry or even bigger. Those have to be cut open, and there are hairs inside of them that are not very pleasant. So you would have to cut them open and remove those hairs. So we're just going to gather these. They will be dried for tea, and they can be used in your fire cider. They can be put into, if you get enough of them, you can make a jelly or a jam or even a syrup. Just boil them down with sugar. They're high in vitamin C, and you know those red fruits have those, what? Bioflavonoids. They're really good, high in antioxidants, good for your cells, protect those cells. All right, so I'm gonna clip these and see what we can do. So this is our small little haul of rose hips, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put them straight into vinegar or honey or alcohol, or will I dry them? They make a wonderful tea. So it's nice to have a high vitamin C tea through the winter time, because vitamin C is essential for your immune system to function. So after you take your time and clip them or pick them off of the stems, this is what you have left. As you can see, this is really not a lot. I mean, it's a nice quantity. I could continue to add to this. You compost the stems. These are any that were blemished or had already been opened up in some way. So that's just part of the twigs. The rest are already in the compost pile. I'm putting these in here while I decide what to do. So this is kind of where you begin to think about the labor involved in bringing food to you, right? Because I could make a cup of rosehip tea. I could make a quart of rosehip tea and be done. Like all my labor would be done. It would be drank up in probably a day or two and gone. Is that the best way to go about using this resource though? So there are a few different routes we could go. We could make a tincture. I mean, I have some Everclear here, but I have a relatively small amount of alcohol, which, I mean, that would work. I mean, like I said, I only have a small amount of rose hips too, probably about 4 ounces of rose hips. So I just got to thinking, and, you know, instead of doing a regular tincture, I contemplated doing a rose hip infused honey, where you would just pour the honey over the rose hips and let that sit. That's an idea. Or we could do a rose hip infused vinegar, which is also very easy. So the more I thought about it, I decided to go with making what's called an oxymel, which is an acid and a honey. So that would be the apple cider vinegar and the honey. We're going to add the honey after it's sat for a while. The other thing that came to me as I was just pondering what to do is the addition of some cardamom seeds. Now, sometimes this is how medicine works, right? Like I just got inspired to add these cardamom seeds. They are also antioxidant, good for cough and cold, good for digestion. They boost blood circulation, and they have a sort of a sweet, citrusy, peppery kind of aroma and flavor to them. So I just think it'll be a good blend. Hey, we're going to see. So that's what I'm going to do, is blend these together. I'm going to put these rose hips in this bag here. I could put them in the blender, but sometimes I think that is like a little bit aggressive way to process medicines. I mean, a lot of people do. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just don't want to do that this time. So I'm just going to open them up. To give a little more surface area. I'm just using a regular tablespoon here to open them up a bit. Making a little bit of a mess here, but we can straighten that up. Add this all back to the jar. It smells so good. They smell kind of fruity. They remind me of somewhere between a cherry or a strawberry, but there's definitely a floral aroma too that, you know, lets you know this is the rose. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take not too many. I think I'm just going to do about, I don't know, how many is that? That many. And we're going to crush those up too. Because it's the seeds inside Gotta open these pods up. You'll probably see the little seeds coming out. Okay, dump that in there. Okay, so that's basically our rose hip and cardamom mix. We're going to cover this with apple cider vinegar now. And we're going to put a piece of wax paper over the top so that the so that the vinegar doesn't touch the metal rim. So I got to stop this and get some wax paper. So here is our vinegar and rose hip cardamom mixture. We're going to just put a piece of wax paper that I have cut into a square. And again, that protects the metal of the top from coming in contact with the vinegar. And this is going to sit for about 2 to 6 weeks. It'll be ready just in time for Kwanzaa or the holiday season. This would make an excellent gift, I think. I think it's going to be a delicious oxymel. So I'll have to tune back in when I decant this. And once again, we have our rose hip and cardamom vinegar that is going to then be turned into an oxymel with the addition of some honey. And so there you go. So naturally, since I had to put in all that hard work of pouring that vinegar into a bottle, I decided I needed to taste this rose cardamom combination. So I got out one of my fancy cups that I just picked up from a thrift store. I love to pick up some cute little things to treat myself with. And I threw some of the rose hips and the cardamom and a Tulsi tea bag in here so that I can have a nice little relaxing refreshment. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this processing of these rose hips, and I will see you at the next video. And as always, take care.